Hello guys, I hope you have all been keeping well. Today we are going to be taking another look at my giant ant farm. In the previous episode, we built my ants a tropical island paradise out of grout. If you didn't manage to catch it, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. But today we are expanding this already giant setup by adding some epic vertical highways. So recently I have started keeping some smaller colonies and there just isn't any room on my shelves. The only space I could squeeze them was on the very top shelf. And even then I can't see or feed them without hopping on a stool. So I came up with the idea of moving my top 2 foraging tanks that were a part of my giant ant farm to this top shelf. This will initially free up space on these more accessible shelves for my smaller colonies. But how was I going to get the ants from the bottom shelf of my giant ant farm to reach this top shelf, which was over a meter in height? Well, after doing some research and looking at how zoos and labs tackled this similar problem of limited space, I decided to use some giant acrylic pipe to act as a vertical highway to get to the top level. But even then, my ants aren't very good climbers, so they may have some issues actually reaching this top level. So I decided to use some of the leftover rope from my previous island building video. I will essentially thread the rope through the pipe and the ants would use it as a climbing platform. With a plan in place, I set to work. I started by removing all the setups from the area I was working in, trying to keep the disturbance levels for the ants to a minimum. As I started to unplug the setups, large major workers quickly rushed to the foraging tanks. Possessing large powerful mandibles, a major could easily bite through my skin. Luckily, they seemed to be taking their anger out on a piece of cotton. Better that than my finger. I continued to carefully unplug and remove the remaining tanks and setups. Then I proceeded to drill holes in the shelves where I will be installing the pipes. I then started to prepare the pipes. I drilled 2 holes in each pipe at either ends. This would essentially be where the ants would enter and leave this enormous highway. Having done this, it was time to add our climbing platform, the rope. I slid it carefully down the pipe until it reached its required length. With the rope successfully inserted, it was time to bung both ends of the pipes with silicone plugs. I decided to use plugs as it makes the pipe easily accessible in case of emergency or if the pipe just needs cleaning. With this towering highway finally installed, it was time to connect it up and have our ants use it for the first time. But first, I had to rearrange the tubing that connected the setups all together. And that meant removing the old tubing which contained the metal vines. This tubing had an enormous amount of ants in it, so I decided to pull out my containment zone from my previous hidden box video. Having effectively relocated all of the ants out of the old tubing, it was now time to place our tanks and setups in their new permanent homes. Now was the moment I had been waiting for. It was time to connect our ants to their giant highway. The setup was finally complete. The ants now had to climb up these 2 soaring highways to reach the 2 tanks. And to no surprise, they instantly used them. It was truly amazing to witness these ants using the highways. Observing them going up and down really felt like a different ant keeping experience. I thought I would give the ants some incentive to make the climb, so I moved all of their sugary liquid supplies to the top 2 tanks. I treated them to some delicious ant antics toffee apple snaps, and boy did they like it. I really hope you like this episode featuring my giant ant farm. If you want to see more of it in the future, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.